type A personality. I'm like, this is your project. I want to contribute in some way to a meaningful discussion.
Oh my God, that's awesome. Everything here looks pretty freaking sweet.
Excellent.
All right, good job. Ready?
I'm ready.
Nice. Well, hello, Carla, and welcome to Held.
Thank you for having me here.
It's my pleasure. So let's get into it. Who are you?
I'm a lot of different things. Because the first thing that pops to mind is I'm a mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's not who I am, it's part of who I am, but it makes me a better person. I am also ambitious and hardworking.
Mm-hmm.
And I know those are attributes, that's not who I am. So I think it's really hard to actually say who you are.
It's a good question, right?
And you're a different person to every person that you meet also. Mm. So if you speak to 10 different people that know me, they'll say I'm a different person.
Yeah.
I think you spend your whole life trying to work out who you really are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know it's my life mission.
Yeah. Unfortunately, you work out who you are when you become the crone and you no longer give a shit what anyone else thinks of what you are. So I've still got a little bit of time before I work it out, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
So.
Good on you. What's something you've come to understand about being a woman that you just didn't know when you were younger?
When we were talking earlier, friendships.
Yeah.
The way that women need women in their life that are always in their corner. I think you know when you're younger that you want friends. But when you're younger, those are the people who do fun things with you. Like maybe listen to you when things are not quite right. And as you get older, you realise you need more than just friends. You need your village. And some of these people that are in your village that you trust with your whole soul, you might not talk to often, but you know they're always there. It's that safety net that they understand parts of you that other people never understood, other people may never understand or even see. You might only show them to that person. But when you're younger and, you have a daughter yourself and you're like, it's important to have friends. You always tell your children it's important to have friends. But you don't tell them why. Like, these are the people who are going to pick up the pieces when things go wrong, celebrate madly when things go right, give you advice you didn't think you needed.
Yeah.
And it's quite often incredibly good advice, even if you don't want to hear it. Yeah. At that time, it comes back to you later and you're like, I'm so glad you said that to me. I'm so glad you were honest and you said that to me. Yeah. So I think that's probably something I've very much learned as I've gotten older, like the absolute importance of keeping those friends close to you.
I love that. Oh my gosh. Are there roles or expectations you felt placed on you throughout your life?
As an eldest daughter, yes.
That's a thing, right?
It's a thing. And I love my sister. She's probably one of my biggest allies. We weren't close growing up the way we're close now. But expectation-wise, I think always it was set a good example for your sister. And I definitely struggled with that because you spend more time trying to do the thing that your parents think is a good example for your sister than actually discovering who you are and what makes your soul set on fire. So yes. That's definitely an expectation that's been placed on me in my life, probably subconsciously, without any real knowledge of the ramifications that throwaway sentence, set a good example for your sister, does cause. I think as an adult now, I've realised I did not set a good example for my sister. But Whoops. But she loves me just the same, so that's good.
That's good. Tell me about a moment where you have felt completely seen.
That's a toughie. I'm not sure I've ever felt completely seen. But I think it's my fault.
Really?
Because
Tell me more about that.
yeah, because I'm like, people only see what you show them. And I am a different person with everyone that I know. To varying degrees.
Yeah.
Like, what they might be interested in might not be what this other person is interested in. We don't discuss that. But it's a wildly interesting conversation that person may not understand. Also, may get a great deal of value out of. But I don't show that part of me to that person because I believe that it may not interest them. So I'm not entirely sure if there's one person in my life who has seen exactly me. But I do know I have enough people in my life who see enough of me that I do feel seen enough that I am happy with that level of understanding from people.
Yeah, awesome. That's a good one. So on the flip side, tell me about a moment where you felt invisible.
I think in my career I often feel invisible. I think in my career that's probably the place I feel the most invisible.
Yeah.
But also...
Are you comfortable talking about your career?
Yeah.
So what do you do?
I work currently for a mining equipment company.
Yep.
So I'm in a corporate office. There are a lot of women there. Like,
awesome.
Probably easily 50-50 in the corporate office. There would be women to men. So, and we also have some non-binary people at work as well.
Yeah, sweet.
Yeah. It's a very inclusive workplace, so that is a good thing.
Yeah.
And the people that I generally interact with seem to live like that. Like that value of being inclusive. I feel invisible because I don't believe I know what pathways are available to me. I don't believe... We get sent monthly questionnaires to fill out about how they're judging the climate of the entire organisation globally. Yeah. And it's interesting when you answer it, it's the same kind of questions all the time. They're trying to judge how people are faring with certain things at work. And I originally would type, and it's anonymous, by the way, but I would originally type comments. I don't even care anymore. I'm like, nobody listens. Nobody actually cares. This is a box they're ticking. That's the vibe that I now feel. Like it's a box they're ticking to say, we're doing this, we're trying to monitor this, They're not going to get any real answers from people because you actually have to talk one-on-one with the person who's willing to stand up and say, these are the things that are actually shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is how this affects me and my life and my career and my mental health.
That's
so I think that's... invisibility hiding as visibility. Like, and we actually had a meeting at work about this the other day, which is why it's fresh in my mind. But it was interesting because the line manager who looks after all of the teams underneath him, he held this meeting and we were all attending this. And he had gone into all of the nitty-gritty of the data from a couple of months, and one of the things that people were underneath the benchmark for was growth. And he's like, I want to talk about this because, and don't get me wrong, this guy's actually pretty great. So he probably saw that and went, there's some unhappy people here and this is where it's showing, but it could be anything that is showing in this one question that someone's offhanded gone, fuck it, give it a 5. Like, but he noticed and he held a meeting and he's like, I want to talk about this because if people feel like they can't grow, what are the reasons for that? And what can we do to open that avenue up to people? So I feel like within certain groups, you matter. I think in a large organisation as a whole, you don't.
No.
You're quite invisible. Unless you're a troublemaker and then everyone knows.
Bloody hell. What have you learned to let go of?
Anger.
Oh, really?
Mm.
Yeah.
It serves you sometimes. But I think I've gotten to this point in my life and I have dealt with quite a bit of disappointment that I have just learned, say my piece, let it go, walk away.
Yeah. Nice.
I still get angry.
Yeah.
And my beautiful friends listen to me rant and then I'm like, right, we're not talking about this anymore, I'm done. We're not talking about this anymore. It doesn't serve you to be angry and hold that inside yourself.
No, it still keeps everything very close. If you're holding on to anger,
It does.
it keeps whoever you're angry at close too.
It does, because they then have a power.
Yeah.
Anger gives something else external to you power over your own life. So that's the thing that I strive the most to just let go of.
What are you still learning to let go of?
My expectations of what my life was going to look like and what it actually does.
Yes, you are.
I don't think I even need to elaborate on that one.
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't believe you. I think every woman's going to get that.
Yep.
Oh my God. So, is there a story or some lesson that you've learned from another woman that stayed with you? Piece of advice that you got when you were younger?
Not that jumps into my head. But sometimes they pop up when you really needed that advice.
Yeah.
You'll think about it and you're like, they were right.
Yeah.
They were right.
What do you wish we spoke more openly about?
Gosh, there's a lot of things.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things. I'm like, I can't pick something. There's 2 completely different pillars in directions I would like to go with this answer. One, particularly, women need to talk about sex and sexual health more and things that are happening to their body at any one time.
Yep.
Randomly, if you bring it up, you can visibly see the other women you're around go, God, that's been happening to me too.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not alone. What's your thoughts on this? And then you can actually talk to people who are living the same thing that you're living.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, no one wants to talk about my periods with me. No one wants to talk about this with me.
Yeah.
Like, no, talk about it.
Yeah.
Your girlfriends want to talk about it too.
Yeah.
So I think that's important. People should definitely just talk about the things like that are happening in their life. Say it out loud. I completely lost the thread on the second pillar. I should have said something else. But yeah, those things. And then I guess also the things we need to probably talk about a lot more are things that are happening in your relationships. With friends, with children, with partners. Like how that makes you feel.
Yeah.
How you're acting because of that. And then probably to find out that, yes, your friend's husband did do that thing too, and it drove her mad. And this is how she spoke to him, and this worked and this didn't work. Instead of bottling something up and it becoming this big thing that you know, with our children, talk to them about everything. They can handle a lot more than you think. Like, obviously temper it somewhat, but depending on the age of your child, like, my son is probably one of my best friends. And as he's gotten older, we've gotten so much closer, and I do tell him things that are happening in my life. And I think it's important, even outside of our own relationship, for him to take that openness into his other relationships. So I'm hoping. And he has got a girlfriend now, and she's so cute.
Does he?
And they're so happy. I love this for him so much. But I'm hoping that he takes the openness that he has with me into his relationships, like with her.
Yeah.
And they can talk about things that affect women.
Yeah.
And that way she will then hopefully become a person who listens to him about things that affect men.
Yeah.
Because men don't talk about stuff.
No.
They bottle it up and they throw themselves off a bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Or take it out on the people who are least willing to be, well, not willing, who are least the part of that problem. It's like toddlers, right? They bite their mothers because it's a safe space.
Yeah, that's what I told myself. That's true.
It's true.
You are the safe space.
Yeah. So I'm hoping that, talking to him about, being open with him about things in my life will make him a more open person. And I think that translates into all our relationships.
Yeah. Honesty.
Yeah. Who'd have thought?
Gold. So, when do you feel most like yourself?
In the dark.
No.
Not completely dark. There's always some light. But how do I explain that?
Is it quiet dark?
Always.
Warm?
Irrelevant. Irrelevant. But the dark is where I feel safe. So I don't feel, and I'm not saying like wandering around the streets and up alleyways is in the dark I would feel safe, but just in general, at home on my own, just pottering about doing my thing, I probably feel most myself. But my home now is my own.
Yeah.
It has all the things around me that bring me joy. People that I love come into my home. And you know, when the people I love come into my home, it's dark. Because I'll have maybe lamps or candles or something. But it's a common theme when I have friends come and visit. I don't have all the lights on and music blaring. I bring them into the bat cave.
I love that. So, we're done with my questions.
Okay.
Can you read that poem?
Yeah. Excuse my phone, because there's no way I was going to remember this.
Oh, God, no. Anybody could remember that.
I found this the other day and I did think it would be worth women hearing. It's called Love Poems to Our Friends. Where are the poems for those who know us? Not for star-crossed loves, for agonies of desire, but words for those who go with us the whole road. How would they start, I wonder? You let me crash when I was new to ruin. You came to me, though visiting hours were over. You held me when my loves were done, were flames. Yes, we will lose a few in the changes, but these are the ones who save us. Not the charmers, not the comets of wild passion, not the ups and downs of love's unlucky hungers, but the ones who stand by our shoulder at the funeral and lead us back to the city of the living and put our favourite record on the player and go away and come back, always come back, with bread and wine and one word, stay.
Oh, my God.
It's good, right?
That's so awesome.
I love it.
Do you know who wrote it?
I don't.
I'll Google it.
Yep.
I'll put a link in the description.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
And it's something I've been reflecting on in the last week or so about our friendships
Yeah.
and how important they are.
They just are.
Yeah.
Yes, women. We all need a coven.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What were your other prompts?
My other prompts. Same vein. Other things worthy of talking about. This one's good. People speak of hope as if it is this delicate thing made of whispers and spiders' webs. It's not. Hope has dirt on her face, blood on her knuckles, the grit of the cobblestones in her hair, and just spat out a tooth as she rises for another go.
That paints such a picture.
It really does.
I love it.
Hope isn't soft. Hope is coming back every time and believing that something better is going to happen. One more.
Go on, hit me.
It's all on the friends. Some friends feel like home. Not because they fix you, but because they never ask you to be anything other than yourself. You can be quiet around them. You can be tired, messy, honest. And somehow, even in your worst moments, they still choose you. That's not ordinary. That's something to hold close. We need our girls.
We do need our girls.
Yep.
Good golly. Gold. Thank
Gold.
you so much for coming. So all I'm going to say is
Thank you for having me.
thank you for being on hold, and bye.